All right. Welcome to the Blueprint, Latif. Okay. Welcome to the Blueprint, presented by Ethereal Collection. I try to keep this secret from you. That's why I kind of ambushed you into the interview. But I think it's very important that we get to talk about what it is that you are doing and what it is that you do.
Okay.
Many people know you from What She Said and What She Said, the card game, as well as, you know, the station manager at redmediaradio.com. But you know what? You go ahead and tell us a little bit about Latif.
Oh, a little bit about me, just personal, or
well, not just. It's like your intro.
Right. Well, I'm Latif. First, I'm a mother. And that actually is the acronym of behind my business.
Okay.
The name of my business, Knowledge, Health, and Beauty, is like the anchor of everything. And that stands for my 4 daughters. But then later, a 5th one came along.
I know. So we just added, but I'll let you tell
right.
it.
She's the extra J in the Knowledge.
Okay.
But, you know, Iman, Naomi, Olivia, Gia, and then Jenna. Okay. So the names actually, when I was looking for a name, I realized, I said, wait a minute, your names kind of spell something out, the way the vowel and consonants, everything aligns.
Right.
So that kind of kept me pumping more. We talk a lot about manifestation, the universe, our higher powers, and I'm like, okay, must have been meant to be, because I had no idea when I gave birth, like, okay, I gotta name the first one I got this, like, none of that was in my head.
And it actually goes in order. It actually, which is strange how the universe does things. But go ahead, I'm sorry.
So yeah, I'm a mother, and I'm just a creative. Always been like that since I was younger, always thinking of something, sometimes getting in trouble for doing things, getting a little
as we all do.
Yeah, extra. But and that's that. I'm just, you know, out here. My why is my children. Okay,
that's a great thing. When you think about it, what I really want to talk about is the beginning of Anaj. We know how the name came up, but what was the driving force besides the children to go ahead and say, hey, this is what I'm going to do?
Well, the earth, my love of just natural healing, natural living. And actually, when I first met you, I was saying I want to come up with this natural mascara. Remember, I was saying like the natural mascara,
amongst other things, but we won't get into that. Go ahead.
That makes your eyelashes grow. I had just came up with that, and I was like, I want to do it. I want to do it. And then from that, doing research and finding out how to make makeups and plenty of things going to waste, and finally, you know, just perfecting it.
Right.
And the thing that really got me going was the pandemic, just sitting still.
Right.
I was doing it while I was working, but with that, I'm like, yeah, I can be doing this. I can use this time to do this.
Yeah, take it to the next level. Now, through the years, and this is just me personally, man, one of the greatest things that I recognized very early on was not only being the creative, but the fact that you have like this I Love Lucy type way of thinking. It's like, you know, and there was nothing wrong with the Lucy show. You know, she just wanted to do something. Ricky was a recording artist or a nightclub singer or whatever, and she wanted to be able to do things that I guess reflected her inner creativity. When you set out to create a natural makeup line, I know that you love the earth, but a natural makeup line, why didn't you just take the easy route like everybody else does?
Because I wanted it to be mine. I wanted it to reflect my love of natural healing, and I tagged it Inside Out Beauty. Basically meaning it's not just makeup. It's not going to be makeup that totally transforms who you are. Right. It'll be like blush. But it won't be like, when you take it off, that wow, you look totally different.
Right,
it's like to
I've
embrace.
been in that situation.
It's like to embrace who you really are, but also give you that feminine feel. Like me, I'm not really one. I don't even know how to wear makeup. You always see that I look like a clown, but I don't really know how to wear makeup. But it gives you a feeling. It's like, okay, I can wear this. I don't have to be like extra advanced at doing it. I'm technically wearing makeup, but I'm also, some of the stuff actually corrects some issues with your skin.
Okay.
So if you're wearing a blush, yeah, it's blush, but also it might be correcting some dark marks.
Oh, okay. I've never worn blush, so I'm gonna have to definitely take that. But you know, I think the whole inside out beauty aspect of your company is much needed. I'm hoping that you go back. You used to have videos, inspirational videos for women. It was geared towards a woman's audience. And it was picking up speed, and you just stopped. I know life caught up, you know. But you know, do you think that you'll be going back to that?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
And the reasoning, come on, it's an interview.
The reason is because for the people that have been, because people were actually tuning in, to show them everything that I did, showing them that, see, this works. You know, when you think of it, when you change your mindset, because I actually changed my mind. You literally could see in the first videos, I'm there with like a cap on or a scarf on, looking crazy, to when I started, you know, the mindset started shifting, and you could see like the difference. I went from just a mother, just, you know, chit chat and talking about my life to, hey, now I'm a businesswoman, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and
showing the growth.
Yeah, and just trying to,
and inspiring people at the same time. That is, you know, absolutely amazing. Now, here is the thing that I hate to do to you, but I have to do it. When you talk about mindset, as we grow, as we reach new levels, the mindset has to change. You can't reach a new level unless you adapt your mindset to reaching that level. What were some of the hurdles that you had to overcome through that journey from I'm going to do this, I'm Lucille Ball, to, hey, listen, I'm a business owner? What were some of those challenges that you had to overcome to make that dream into a reality?
Well, the main thing that covers everything is just accepting who I was. And that's accepting everything. Things I had, mistakes I had made in the past, the good things, just everything, and kind of deleting the things that I didn't want there any longer, and keeping the great parts about me, and also adding on to the greatness. Versus soaking in all, you know, like just anything negative. Like, negativity is going to come, but it doesn't mean I have to keep it.
No, you're right. You're right. And you know, that's what I wanted people to understand, that, you know, you're not like obligated to hold on to the negativity, even though the negativity might have been part of your journey. You're not obligated to carry that luggage around with you. What are some of the things, because we're going to get into the inspirational part in a little bit, but what are some of the things that you noticed that you excised or removed from yourself that made the journey that much easier?
Regret. Not living with regret. Taking accountability, but also not regret. It was like it's a fine line for me between holding on to regret and taking accountability. I feel like taking accountability is saying to myself, yeah, you know, you did it, you were wrong, you know, but at the same time, you didn't know any better. Or if you did know any better, or, you know, saying you knew better, don't do it again. It's almost like scolding yourself. And just like a child, if a child does something, you put them on punishment, but once the punishment is over, you don't keep saying, you know, you don't keep reminding them what they did. You let them,
they serve their time.
They serve their time.
They serve their time.
And it's the same thing with ourselves. A lot of times we're harder on ourselves than we are on other people. We're quick to forgive someone else. Well, me personally, quick to forgive someone else, but won't forgive myself.
No, I get it, and everybody has a different way of getting through this journey called life. I definitely respect your grind as far as Anaj Health and Beauty is concerned. So many products, I trip over them in the house. So many different products that, you know, at one point I was a little skeptical, but that's what, you know, the admiration for the person that you are, that's how it grew, because I saw like, okay, she's dead busy trying to get this done. You know, I see you researching, I see pieces of paper all over the table, and you're figuring out formulas and stuff like that. So it's good. It was like, okay, this is really the person that I fell in love with. You know, but you know what? Let's take a quick break.
Okay.
And then we'll come back and we will discuss the most important thing about the blueprint, which is motivation and inspiration, and how you bring that to the table. Okay. Does that sound like a plan?
Yep.
All right, let's go.
All right.
What she said, the card game is very fun on ladies' night. Get your girls together, get some drinks going, and have a good time. It's a great purchase and support Black women and Black business.
All right, here we are back at the Blueprint, presented by Ethereal Collection. And we're here with not only my partner, my mate, my boo thing, Latif. I wanted to, you know, get this interview in with you. Kind of ambushed you into it, and I do apologize for it. But I think you have an important story to tell. I think it's an inspirational story as well as a motivational story. You know, we've gone through, during our journeys together and separate, we've actually come to realize many different things. Our mindsets have changed and grown and evolved to make us more positive people. We've learned how to, I guess, escape the BS or the hate or the things that are meant to serve no purpose but to bring us down.
Right.
You know, as far as inspiration, what would you tell, I guess, the business owner, or more specifically the female business owner? Because I think there is differences, you know, between a man deciding I'm going to start a business and a woman deciding that she's going to start a business. Feed the kids, you know, and stuff like that. How do you get through that?
Just do it. Really, just do it. When it comes to the children, depending on what age they are, tell them what you're doing. Tell them exactly what you're doing. Tell them the blueprint. Tell them the layout. Tell them the goals that you want to reach, because you'll see that they want the same thing. If you're telling them, hey, mommy's trying to get a big house, you know, oh, a big house? Oh, okay, then, you know, what do you have to do? You know, then
like
they start.
With the chickens. Go ahead.
Yeah, then they'll start asking questions. I mean, I noticed you said Livia, her other half, Naomi. I noticed that she'll say, like, I'm trying really hard. I'm thinking that you're rich. I'm thinking. It's like, I'm wishing for a new car. So it's like you kind of bring them into your world. Mindset, yeah, that mindset. Even if, you know, they might not be working at it 24/7, but they get it. Right. And then, you know, with the little ones, it's a way. I mean, hey, we don't know what goes on in little people's heads. No, science doesn't even know. So try it. Tell them.
And they're magical.
Yeah, yeah. Let them pick up that energy and just, you know, just keep doing it. If you got to do it, I mean, with me, with the little ones, I have the Pampers next to me and the wipes in case they have an accident, and that way, you know, I can jump in and just do it. Really, that's you know how I look at it. Just do it. Make a way to do it.
Right. And that's good, because I know that you bring the little ones into your adventures. Excuse me, when you're making new products and stuff like that, and I see them running around with the samples and showing me, and it's like, Daddy, you want something? Like, nah, I don't want that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful on you, baby, but Daddy doesn't do that. But now you've had, and this is again personal, but you've had certain things that you've had to deal with, and you don't have to attach names to it or, you know, attachments to it. How did you find, because I know from being right there that it was a hard climb. It was a hard climb, but you got through it and you basically said, I'm going to do this. Right. You know, regardless. What was the mental reasoning? Because with the pressure that you had coming at you, I wouldn't have felt bad if you just threw in a towel and quit. Right. You know, again, we're dealing, without saying names, but the attachments, you know, I would have been like, you know what, this really isn't worth all of this pain and heartache. What made you decide, nope, doesn't matter, I'm moving forward?
Well, I would just say the past. Basically, you know, you think back of the relationship, depending on who the person was. You think back and say, okay, you know, and you start thinking, it's like, okay, well, it wasn't really all that, you know. What was so great about it? Yeah, it might have been love if you're, you know, family. But it's like, what really all did you do anything really pivotal for me to make me feel like, okay, this person doesn't want me to do it, I'm not going to do it.
Right.
Like what I don't like, that wasn't on the tab. There was nothing on when I'm pulling out the tab, the receipt. There was nothing on there that was, even
wasn't even 15%.
Yeah, not even an inkling to make me feel like, there were really, mean something.
Right.
And also, I meant not to get into, but when when as women, once you have a certain amount of children, people label you.
Right.
And even if you have the highest degree, it's still that certain amount of children. Oh my God, I can't believe you got. How did you do it? So it's like, just because society looks at a mother with X amount of children,
right?
And they feel I'm kind of like a rule breaker in my own sense.
Okay.
So it's like,
which is good.
Yeah. So it's like, just because you say I can't do it, I'm going to do it.
Oh,
and
yes.
Not in a petty way, but because I don't want to be looked at like that. And I have daughters. I don't want them to think that it's okay to let anybody label you something and you feel like you have to live up to that label. No, you live up to the label you want to give yourself. Right.
That is deep. That is really deep right there. And again, I appreciate as the mother of our children that you do pass this down. Like you can't be stopped. See, this is the problem with doing stuff outside. But you have to, continue to, inspire at the very least those that are in close proximity to you. But at the high end of that, you have to, inspire those who aren't right there. People that looked at your YouTube channel, which is why I seriously suggest and hope that you do go back to doing that. People that, women that tune into what she said, and they get insights and maybe even a different outlook on life than what they have absorbed into themselves.
Right.
I talk often about, the rust that we've accumulated in our lives, meaning the rust on our brains of these ideas and these thoughts that no longer really serve us, but since they're there, we can't escape them.
Right.
How do you find a way to escape those things?
Just constantly do the opposite. Do the opposite of the rust. Shine it up a little bit. Of course, you're going to have people that think they know you. Right. But for me, coming from a big family, it seems like everyone thought they knew me. But when I would be alone, like in my room, the thoughts I would have, the things I was into, a lot of times now people say, oh, I didn't even know that, you did that, or I didn't know you like that. And it's almost like you're lying. It's almost like they're, kind of skeptical of it. It's like,
right.
Well, you wouldn't know because everyone doesn't go around announcing their deepest desires.
Right. Which would make the world very freaky. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Everyone does it. You're not supposed to know. And it's like, just keep going and say, let's X everybody out. Right. Even when they bring up your past, it's like it's almost like you literally are saying, I don't know what to tell you. I'm past that. Right. I'm past that. If it's somebody that you hurt and you apologize, you're sincere about it, they don't have to accept it, but it doesn't mean that if you know that you're sincere about it and you feel that acceptance from your higher power, it's no reason to beat yourself up about it. Right.
And I noticed that you're a very spiritual person. Because of course we have similar yet different beliefs, and that's like I've always said, faith is an inside job. I respect your faith, you respect my faith, but with that spirituality, how does that help?
Well, it keeps me balanced, keeps me level-headed. It is, for me, it helps me not to judge other people's actions and just just accept people for who they are.
Yes.
And where they are at the time, because just like no one has to accept my apologies, I don't have to accept it, but I can understand where you were coming from. Right. Depending on how deep the issue is.
Right. I mean, because I think a lot of people misconstrue the whole idea of spirituality and higher powers. Again, my viewpoint, I've been saying this for years, whatever keeps you a positive person, I'm 120% for. But I know that we've had conversations where you just say, I'm just going to pray on it. Or, I'm going to give it off to my higher power, understanding that, action has to be taken. But that is a sense of comfort, you know, and I think more people, I don't know how you feel about it, but I think more people should, you know, explore their spirituality, whether it be a higher power or the universe. What would you tell those people how it assists in the journey?
Well, one is very comforting. I would say keep it one-on-one between you and your higher power. I feel like when you go out, that like I always, it's two things I won't discuss with anybody, and that's politics or my spiritual or religious beliefs.
Right.
Because I'm always going to feel the way I feel.
Right.
You may start feeling the way I feel, or you may not.
Right.
But I still feel like it's kind of wasted energy if you get into this big debate.
Right.
And you both walk away with, well, that's how I feel and that's how I feel.
Right.
So I think it's better for me to keep it between me and my higher power.
Right. And
use my energy to help other people understand. Because sometimes you don't have to say anything. People just pick up.
Right, that energy. We talk about that often, that energy that is shared, it radiates off. I mean, you have a certain glow. You know, that radiates off of you, especially when you're in super, super positive mode. We all have days where we just can't stay 120% super positive mode. Those days, we all experience them. How do you get through those days?
Just find somewhere, even if it's like in a corner of the house, just find somewhere to kind of give yourself that pep talk.
Okay.
You know, go back to that whole visualization thing. Visualize, take a glimpse into the future and think, okay, if you keep going this route, this is going to be your future. It doesn't look too good. But if you know, change it, you know, pep things up a little bit, this could be your future. Right. And of course, you want to go to the side where what could be your future. It may not be that yet, but it's possible, because anything's possible. Right.
You know what? With that being said, we're gonna jump right back in. We'll take a quick break, and we're gonna discuss your game. How's that sound?
Okay.
All right, let's go.
You cannot be a believer until you see your old life and the misery thereof and want to.
You will find true success and happiness if you have only one goal. There really is only one, and that is this: to fulfill the highest, most truthful expression of yourself as a human being. You want to max out your humanity by using your energy to lift yourself up, your family, and the people around you. Theologian Howard Thurman said it best. He said, "Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and then go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive."
All right. Here we are. Back at the Blueprint, presented by Ethereal Collection. And again, I apologize for ambushing you into this interview. But you know what? I think that you bring a lot to the table as far as not only entrepreneurs, but women. I find in my experience that 9 times out of 10 women will just give up on their dreams. This just comes from me knowing women, working with women, and they just give up, and they always find an easy excuse as to why to give up. Either it's the outside influences, or it's the children, or it's the job, or anything can be interchanged with the reason for giving up. And one thing I notice about you is you never give up. You know, even when sometimes the odds are stacked against you, you continue to move forward. And one of those things that I mean, this game, you started building the game. I didn't even know what the hell you was doing. I thought it was you mentioned it to me, and I was like, here we go, here comes Lucy again. But I didn't say that, because through the last couple of years, you've shown that if you put your mind to it, you'll do it. And then you came back to me about something. I was like, just let me know when you're finished. My usual response and things like that. And you came back when it was finished, and I was amazed. Why don't you tell me a little bit about the thought process that went into creating What She Said, the card game?
Well, as you know, I do What She Said every Saturday on redmediaradio.com.
Shameless plug. Hey.
At 7 p.m. And I don't know. I used to make up little games like for my younger siblings.
Okay.
Like little camps, everything. Like down to like writing out on pieces of paper, making crossword puzzles for them and doing. I just like to always create little things.
Okay.
And I don't know. Like the thought just came to me like I can make a game, from this. I've been to a few ladies' nights and they have like the situation games, the cards, and I'm like, I can do it, but I don't want it to be like anything I do. I never want it to be like anyone else.
Right.
So even if I come up with something and someone else does it, I'm like, I have to do something else now.
Right.
It's just like a me thing. I can't. I can't see myself copying someone else. I feel like it takes away from
my
creativity, my uniqueness. So I came up with the game, and it was different ways I came up with it, and it wasn't working out either. The numbers weren't adding up. I'm like, okay, well, how many cards are in a deck? And I had to think of how many, questions and how many people would play. And then I said, well, women like charm bracelets.
Okay.
And women like to, do crafts sometimes, certain women. And I'm like, well, then that's what it could be.
Right.
That can be the winnings. You can add the charm bracelet, so they all would get a charm if they agree with each other.
Okay.
So if you agree, then you get a charm bracelet.
Okay.
And it's for mature women, not for like a group of people where that one friend is always the odd girl out and no one's going to say what she said,
Oh, okay.
So she's the one with no charms or anything like that. So I made situations based around, that's where it comes in from the show. It's based around the other women in our lives, the children, and the men in our lives.
Okay.
So each card has either one or of the situations. Yeah.
Okay.
So you don't know what card you're going to get, and you would give your answer, and whoever agrees says what she said. It might be all three of the other players. It could be just one other player.
Okay.
It might be none, but you're going to get your turn again. Basically, it's to show women that you can agree on something. You might not even know the woman. You might not necessarily. You might have a mutual friend, but that friend, may not like you or whatever. Right. But you have to say no what she said, because it's kind of like instinct. You might not even realize you're agreeing with her.
Right.
But it's a mind thing also. It's like if you believe it, you're going to say what she said.
It's just going to come out.
It's just going to come out. You might not be like, oh shoot, I didn't want to. But somebody's going to say, no, I heard you.
I ain't trying to be petty.
Yeah.
Damn.
So it kind of takes away that factor, and it kind of brings you all together through conversation.
Right.
And then you all walk away with a memory.
That's beautiful. It's a different kind of icebreaker, but it's also a way for, I can see this being played at bachelorette parties. I can see this being played on, women's night out. It's something that you bring the cards, and if you're at a lounge situation, hey, let's play this game.
Right.
The thought process was amazing, and I have to admit, after it was finished and I saw it, I was like, wow. It has the best of both worlds. People are going to slam me for this, but women like to talk. They love to run your mouth. And I mean that in a good way, but it's a way to strengthen and build relationships. Because it's definitely a conversation starter, because some of the situations just, hey, let's talk about this.
Right.
Why do you feel this way? And it not only just for the charms, it leaves those memories, those bonding night memories, which women always love. So I think you took the best of what's inside of you, and you actually imbued it into this game. Now, people can purchase this game. They can go to, what's your Facebook page again?
INOJ Health and Beauty.
Okay, and they can order it or pre-order it, because they usually fly when they come in. But the thing that I really, really love about this game is it's real situations. I've actually watched your videos where you've actually played with other women and stuff like that. And it's real situations that we actually go through. So you haven't made a fantasy world.
Right.
You've made a real world with real life situations. I think you had one call where you talked about you bought a pair of jeans that are too small. What do you do?
Right.
And you give them 3 options. That's a real situation.
It is.
That is a real situation. Or, one of the questions dealt with you know, your son's girlfriend, you know, has an issue, and she comes and tells you, what do you do? You know, your adult son.
Right.
Again, these are conversation starters, and they're real life events. In this day and age, not only becoming an entrepreneur or embracing one's creativity is not that easy a thing to do. The world that we live in is filled with stress and stressors. How do you breeze past the BS that is the stress and the stressors to create things like, you know, what she said, the card game, or even sit down and talk about, you know, things, situations that women go through with men, women, and children on What She Said, you know, the show that's on Red Media Radio at 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Saturday, where you throw me under the bus. You know, how do you continue to find the energy and the drive to move forward with these things?
Well, I mean, just embracing my life, embracing all of the experiences. That's where some, not a lot of the cards, but just like maybe conversations, co-workers from like years ago, maybe stuff they told me, certain stories or situations, or just observing people, mothers with their children on the bus, maybe walking past, overhearing a conversation. Sometimes because people talk loud because they want people to hear the conversation. Right. And you know, stuff that happened to me, even like the not so good stuff, just literally embracing it all. And that's when the spiritual side comes and saying, okay, well, God put this in my life for a reason. You know, it's for a reason, and maybe this is the reason behind it. Like growing up, I had friends, but I never was had really good friendships. You know, maybe they considered or called themselves friends, but it wasn't like a great friendship. In school, I was never like the social butterfly. I was always the quiet girl, you know, to myself. And I would watch like the other girls and stuff and be like, wow, I bet if they really knew me, we probably really could be good friends. But you know, either being shy or also knowing my dad was like, you're not hanging out with, you know, not judging nobody, but it's like, you know, you got different, you know, I don't know, approve of that. Some things that other girls were allowed to do, I couldn't do, and it was just like, not really loneliness, so it's not like a pity, but it was just, I was more like an observer. So I kind of like took it all in and, you know, just kept it, always kept a journal. I'm always like writing little stories and, you know, stuff like that. So, you know, I'm like, okay, maybe, you know, growing up, you might not have had a lot of friends, but you can bring other women together and you can be that force behind that. Or just, you know, meeting someone, even if the relationship doesn't last, just, you know, getting out there and getting to know other females. And
you know, from my experience, that's not the easiest thing to do in the world. Well, you know, it's the same way with men as well, you know, the whole competition thing. Instead of accepting a person for who they are, people just tend to want to compete. But that is another thing that you have gotten past. I mean, you're a mother, you know, you're my mate, so, and I know I'm not the easiest person to deal with on this planet, but you know, you always find a way to bring positivity to the table, even in situations where it would seem to be, for ego's sake, more beneficial to not bring positivity to the table. And that's what inspires me about you. Sometimes there are times in my life that I just want to give up, but then I look at you and the girls and I'm like, you know what? Hey, it's not going to hurt to just go a little bit further. And that's one of the things that I appreciate about you as not only my partner, but as a force in this universe, to be able to give a piece of yourself to the world. And please don't take that the wrong way. No. But, you know, to give a piece of yourself to the world and walk away and create warm fuzzies for others. Nope, that didn't sound right. But to create good feelings and positive energy for others.
Yeah, because I think that you have to accept people for who they are. I think everybody has a little bit good in them. I told you the story about the time I picked up the guy that was fresh out of jail. I'm in a white area. And it wasn't a lot of us. And I'm like, this brother's at the bus stop. He possibly could.
It could go sideways.
And I didn't know, you know, so I gave him a ride. Come to find out he's fresh out of jail with a box of knives.
Oh, wow.
And open. I'm like, okay, I'm about to get chopped to pieces. But I kept the conversation human. You know, I talked about, you know, my children, you know, I talked about being a mother. I talked about, hey, I got brothers here. Oh, yeah, you was there. Yeah, you know, bro, yeah, they did, got in trouble too, whatever. So I just kept it human to let this person know I accept you for who you are. Just
don't cut me up, bro. No need to cut me up.
But it kind of changed the momentum. So if he did have something like I'm a robber and killer and do this, that, and the other, the fact that I showed him I was human also.
Right.
And, also telling him, yeah, I saw you out here. I wanted to make sure, we got to look out for each other,
Right.
Just accepting people. And the same thing with people that are planning on backstabbing you, or you see they're not a real friend. You accept them for who they are. I'm not going to try to change.
Right.
But I'm going to still give you who I am.
Right. Exactly.
So maybe you might go to bed at night and lay down and thinking that, you know what, I don't have to be this way.
Right. That is, I think that sums it up in a way, but I still got to ask the final question. When it comes to, and that's what the blueprint is all about. It's about inspiration and motivation. For the people that are listening, if you had to sum it up, as far as being first motivated, what would you say to them?
Repeat that one more time. Okay.
To our listeners, if you can give them one bit of advice on how to stay motivated, what would you say?
Embrace their entire life. Everything. Sometimes you just have to reflect a little bit. Reflect a little bit and take the good, the bad, and the lemons and, make a mighty punch.
Yeah.
It might be a little sweet, might be a little tangy, but make something out of it.
I mean, you have no choice, and as I'm learning sometimes, due to the Akashic record, and I won't go into that, but sometimes we are forced to, until we get it right, to keep on going through this journey until we finally get it right. That's just our higher power intervening, saying, you didn't learn it last time, we'll throw it right there in front of you again, and hopefully you learn it this time. Now, I'm sure there's quite a bit of young listeners, young women. What would you say to them?
Don't lose yourself. That way you don't have to find yourself. It's not that hard to find yourself, but just stay in contact. It's like a relative that you don't want to lose contact with, or a friend. You make sure you call and check up on them. You might look them up on social media. It's the same thing with yourself. Just don't go too far out.
Right.
When you find yourself going too far out, reel yourself back in.
Right. No, that makes a lot of sense, and that is, I don't know what to say after that. With that being said, why don't you go ahead and tell them where they can get what she said, the card game, get their own personal copy.
On Facebook at Anoj Health and Beauty, INOJ Health and Beauty.
Okay, and I'm going to put you on the spot. I need a date. When are you, not that kind of date. When are you going to go back to doing your YouTube channel? I need you to, I'm going to force you into this. It could be a year from now, 2 years from now, it could be a week, it could be, 2 days from now. When are you going back to doing it? Because I'm sure it brought value to many women's lives, and I'm quite sure they want to see you get back to doing it. When is that going to happen? Talk to me.
I actually been thinking about that, and I would like to do it August 1st. August is the month of my birthday, so that would be my birthday gift to myself.
Okay, August 1st. Okay, August 1st. You heard it right here on the blueprint. Okay, what's the name of your YouTube channel?
Inside Out Beautiful, or Inside Out Beauty by Jupiter and 7.
Yeah, Inside Out Beauty by Jupiter and 7. Make sure you like it. August 1st is not too far away. I would go ahead and subscribe to the channel so that way you're pleasantly surprised when August 1st runs around. I will actually put this in rotation again August 1st just to remind you. Or July 31st. One of those 2 days just to remind you. I want to thank you for sitting down and joining me for the Blueprint presented by Ethereal Collection. Again, sorry for the background noise. Had no choice. It was I had to ambush her into doing it, so I said this was the best way to do it. Keep it locked right here on redmediaradio.com. We've been talking to Latif. She's brought a lot of inspiration and motivation to the table just by telling us the story of who she is. I want to thank you for that. Anything that you want to say in closing?
No, don't lose yourself. Keep going.
There you go.
No matter what.
You heard it directly from her. Hey, listen, guys, keep it locked right here on redmediaradio.com. We will have another interview next Wednesday at 5 p.m. right here on redmediaradio.com. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to keep it locked right here. And you already know this is your boy Red. Love you guys.
Hey, it's Janice Lisa, co-host of What She Said and co-owner of Student Apparel, inviting you to check out What She Said Saturdays at 7 p.m. on redmediaradio.com, an online radio show by a woman for women, where you can hear some good music, good laughs, and also get some healthy advice. When you're in need of a fun, relaxing, humorous evening at home, check out Latif, Tiffany, and myself for What She Said Saturdays at 7 p.m. on redmediaradio.com. Listen, laugh, have a good time. We give advice on life, love, motherhood, and everything in between. And oh, hey, fellas, we don't want you to miss out. You're included too. Check us out. Tune in as well. Tune in with your lady. Have a good time. Have a good laugh. Get some good advice. Again, tune in Saturday, 7 p.m. for What She Said on redmediaradio.com. We can't wait. Tune in, listen, laugh, love yourself.
Hungry?